Hello, beautiful humans. As you know, I'm embarking on a minimalist journey this year. Along with the importance of decluttering, I want to look at money habits. This year, we have an opportunity to move forward in our slow living while making and saving more money. Let's look at what ways we can build good money habits. When stuff has taken over our lives, minimalism puts it back in control. The same with money. Let's take back our homes by adopting minimalism and the ways that practice can save us money as well. Being a minimalist, we design our lives in which the fewest and simplest elements are used to create maximum impact. Think about a model home. One of the things that makes the space attractive is the minimalist design. The furniture in each room has a purpose, and the art is simple but impactful. There are no extra pieces of furniture thrown in for flair, no knickknacks lining shelves, and no mental clutter. And if you want to know more about decluttering your life and moving into a minimalist lifestyle, you can view my last video. It's called Decluttering to Minimalism. You can find it in the link that's floating above somewhere here and in the description area as well. Being a minimalist, I strive to keep only things that serve a purpose. I have everything I need for daily life without being surrounded by all the possessions that I may need one day or the junk I've become emotionally attached to. The benefits of being a minimalist is not limited to being able to clean the house faster. Being a minimalist can also pad our pocketbook. Now, before we look into how we can make and save money as a minimalist, this is your reminder to subscribe if you haven't yet. Also, give this video a like so people looking for this kind of content can find it easier. And if you find these videos that I've been making helpful, consider buying me a coffee. The link is in the description below. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Now let's get back into the particulars. When embarking into this lifestyle while going through the decluttering process, you can make money selling your stuff. Before saving money, a minimalist lifestyle allows you to make money. These are extra funds to shore up your emergency savings account, begin investing, or pay down existing debt. As you walk through each room of your home, including the basement, garage, and attic, if you have things stored there, take a moment to touch each item and try to remember the last time you used it. If it's been a while, there's an excellent chance you can comfortably live without it. Have a garage sale or advertise on Facebook Marketplace or your neighborhood website. Whatever way is easiest for you, sell the things you haven't been using. Why keep housing things that are no use to you? Once you've jettisoned the extra stuff from your life, here are ways you are likely to save money. Have you ever bought a birthday gift but couldn't remember if you had a birthday card or wrapping paper at home? Because minimalism leads to keeping only the things that serve a purpose, you'll have a much clearer picture of what you already have. That means cutting back on duplicate purchases and saving money in the process. Each savings means more opportunity to invest in your future. And then there's intentional buying. Combing through possessions, pulling out things you don't need and selling them to someone who might find a use for them takes effort. But after putting all that work into the project, you're less likely to want to refill the space. Maintaining simplicity requires making intentional purchases, and intentional shopping means no wasteful buying. And learn to focus on needs over wants. One advantage of minimalism is the way you'll get to know yourself. After a while, you'll have a better sense of what you value, including things you want and things you need. to live your best slow life. The simple act of cutting back on wants and focusing on needs will benefit your monthly budget. Homing in on quality is really important. Let's say you need a new winter coat. Rather than buy the first discount jacket you see, you look for quality. You want something built to last. It may cost more at the time of the purchase, but if a high-quality coat lasts several years longer than a discount coat, you're money ahead. Be sure not to buy into trends. Saving on housing. If you've been thinking about upsizing because you have too much stuff to fit comfortably in your current home, or you're sure you can't downsize for the same reason, becoming a minimalist will remove that barrier. Think about your life with all those extra belongings that you've dragged along. If you kept only the possessions that serve a purpose, how much less space would you need? The ability to live comfortably in a smaller space gives you the option of saving money on housing. My goal for this year is to minimize, then downsize when it comes to my house. This will give me more freedom to do the things I want to do without the distractions or financial burden. If you decide to adopt a minimalist lifestyle, don't be discouraged if you can't do it all at once. Remember, minimalism is an ongoing process. You may spend years refining what works best for you and letting go of the possessions that slow you down. The entire concept behind the practice is to find a healthier, happier, and slower way to live. If that takes you a little more time than anticipated, so be it. Remember to always be kind to yourself. This process will also teach us patience and move us away from the instant gratification mentality, allowing us to move into a slower, intentional life. Let's look at some of the daily practices that help us minimalists save money. One of the things is to bring your own lunch. If you bring your lunch, you'll save money. You will save money on the actual food that you aren't buying, and will save you on gas too. When I used to work a 9-to-5 job, I brought my lunch, and it only took me 30 minutes to eat. We had a mandatory 1-hour lunch break, so for my other 30 minutes, I either went for a walk or I would read a book. Spending some quiet time in the middle of your workday also helps you move towards slow living. All my coworkers who brought their lunch spent those extra 30 minutes driving around trying to find something to eat. Do this simple calculation. How much does your lunch cost? Multiply by days in a week, multiply by weeks in a year. This is how much your lunch is costing you each year. Now, if you multiply this by the number of years you've been working, you will see how much you could have saved. This simple calculation will show you exactly how much you're spending by going out to eat. Bringing your lunch is usually about half the price of going out. The same applies for cooking at home in the evenings instead of going out. And let's make our own coffee. Making coffee at home saves so much money. The average coffee cost is at least $5 or more. For a large fancy iced coffee, it could be anywhere between $6 to $10. But a bag of coffee can usually make about 100 cups or more of coffee. Plus, coffee is so easy to make, you can take it on the road with you. Besides saving money, you'll also save time, especially if you're on your way to work. And stop buying water. Water is free, so why should you buy it? I never understood this, but for the long time, the media had convinced me that I needed to buy water. The water companies made me think that I needed clean water. But I learned that most of the bottled water is the same water that comes out of our taps. All they do is run it through a filter, which you can do yourself. And then they put it in a plastic bottle. Plastic bottles aren't good for you or for the environment. I drink lots of water. At one time, I used to be buying 36 packs of bottled water at least once a month. And by changing that habit, I started saving money and saving the planet as well. Now I use a simple water filtration system, and I bring water everywhere I go in a reusable container. And if you really want to save some money, skip the soda and juice. I don't need either of these drinks to survive, and a lot of health sources say it's bad for you. Consuming a ton of extra calories for no reason was not the best idea. So I can save money, and it will make me healthier. Now, I cut the cable 5 years ago. My cable company started raising the price of their basic cable plan. At first I thought, okay, what is another $5? But then they started raising the price every other month. After 5 years of no cable, it turns out I don't miss it at all. Some minimalists don't even have televisions in their homes. I have it to cast to movies from my smartphone or tablet. And depending on the cost of cable in your area, the cost savings can be tremendous. And there are also several different ways to make side income as well. I'm not going to lie and say it's so easy to make extra money. The first thing to do is tell everyone that you're looking to make some extra money. They can point you in the right direction or even give you some ideas. If you look, you can usually find some way to make extra money here and there. It all adds up. You could start a YouTube channel. This is something that can take a while before you make money. Now, I started the Slow Living channel last year and getting closer to monetization, but I'm not there just yet. And for me, a good thing about starting a YouTube channel is that it was completely free. All it took was a good idea, computer, and knowledge of editing. As a graphic designer, I already knew these things and I already had the equipment. As my channel grows and I make money with it, I will get new equipment so that I can share more of me with you. It takes time, but it's worth it for me. And now I plan to make a living without having to rely on anyone else except you, my beautiful humans. Another way is to pay yourself first. Direct deposit your money. Make sure that you're saving this extra money. It can be easy to spend, so you want to make sure that you're saving it. Open a savings account and every month direct deposit from checking to savings. Decide how much you can save each month and set up the deposit so you don't accidentally spend your savings. And one thing that I really am keen on is using things up. Use the things you have before you buy more. For years, I would buy shampoo and soap without completely using up what I already had. It is always fun to start with a new product, but I found I never went back to use up the old stuff. And it was not sustainable. In the kitchen, it's also a great idea to use up all your food before you shop. I've saved a lot of money by trying to get creative in the kitchen, using everything I have before I shop. This way, less food is going to waste. There's something I'd like to share with you. It's the 30-day saving rule, and it's been working really well for me. So if you don't know what it is, let me simplify it. The next time you find yourself considering an impulse buy, stop yourself and think about it for 30 days. If you still need to make that purchase after 30 days, then go for it. This rule works because by forcing yourself to wait on all your non-essentials, you remove the emotions from your spending. And let's face it, most of us are emotional spenders if we're not conscious of what we're doing. Integrate this 30-day savings into your finances by identifying your needs versus your wants, setting up a savings account, and creating an entertainment fund. Now, saving money isn't easy for some, but it doesn't have to be hard. Whether you're trying to save up for a new home, a new business venture, or start up a rainy day fund, setting aside a chunk of your income each month to put toward your savings can be challenging. Even if you do try to limit your spending, impulse purchases can quickly take a toll on your bank account. And one of the best solutions I found is this 30-day savings rule. As I said before, the 30-day saving rule is a simple, easy-to-follow strategy that can help you cut your impulse spending and increase your savings. Let's look at the wonders of the 30-day rule and help you find ways to integrate it into your financial life. This is a simple financial trick that can help anyone improve their money management techniques. Using this rule is straightforward. The next time you find yourself thinking about making an impulse purchase or simply buying something you don't need, close your browser or walk out of the store because you're not going to buy that item. Well, not yet anyway. Within the 30-day savings rule, you defer all non-essential purchases and impulse buys for 30 days. Instead of spending your money on something you might not need, you're going to take 30 days to think about it. At the end of this 30-day period, if you still want to make that purchase, feel free to go for it. Alternatively, if you totally forget about that purchase or decide that it wasn't worth it, you'll save yourself a chunk of change as you work toward your financial goals. Here's why the 30-day savings rule really does work. What makes this 30-day savings rule so special is its simplicity. By forcing yourself to wait on all your non-essential purchases, you take the emotion out of your spending so that you can maximize your savings. Of course, the rule only works if you stick to your convictions and wait the entire 30-day period. If you do manage to follow through with the plan, you'll almost always find that you save money using this strategy. That's because the 30-day savings rule simply stops us from spending money impulsively on things that don't make us happy or serve any real purpose. Although we think that we need to have a complex multi-tiered investment plan to build our savings, sometimes all we need is to put a limit on our own spending. While you'll certainly want to follow a reasonable budget and stay on top of your spending habits by tracking your spending, maybe even with an app, you'll be surprised how much easier it is to live within your means when you delay impulse purchases by 30 days. Here's some more steps you can take to integrate this simple savings plan into your day-to-day life. Any newcomer to the 30-day savings rule needs to start by identifying essential and non-essential purchases so you can figure out what is and isn't an actual necessity. If you're practicing minimalism, you're probably already doing this in certain areas of your life. Take a few minutes to make a list of your monthly expenses. Then make a mental note to yourself that these purchases all get instant approval under your new savings plan. These are essentials and monthly bills. Everything else can get categorized as a want and will be subject to the 30-day savings rule. Later, while you're out in the shopping world, you'll need to think about whether your potential purchase is a want or a need and make your spending decisions accordingly. If you're considering an impulse purchase, simply put your wallet away and save your money for another day. Have a savings account ready to go. One of the best parts about the 30-day savings rule is that it allows you to build your savings and accrue interest while you wait to see if that new smartphone is worth your hard-earned money. Although you could just leave your money sitting in your regular bank account as you make decisions, setting aside your money in a high-interest savings account can help you accrue interest in the meantime. That way, all the money that you don't spend can make you money in the short term. Now, I do believe in setting up an entertainment fund. If the thought of having to wait 30 days to make every non-essential purchase sounds a little daunting, I get it. Waiting a month to decide if you want to purchase something is a solid strategy for larger splurges, like a new computer or a smartphone, but not for smaller expenses like maybe a night out at the movies. So putting too many limits on your spending habits, well, that can make it harder to stick to your spending resolutions. While a 30-day savings rule is great for those high-ticket items, consider setting up an entertainment fund for little expenses that you can dip into whenever you like, guilt-free. Your entertainment fund can be as big or as small as you'd like, but I would recommend budgeting only a modest sum each week to ensure that your fund doesn't detract from your savings. Now wait 30 days and watch your savings grow. It might all sound too good to be true, but waiting 30 days before you make an impulse purchase can save you a whole lot of money in the short term. When used in conjunction with a solid budgeting plan and great savings tools, the 30-day savings rule can make a big difference as you work towards your financial goals. These are rules and saving practices that I incorporate into my minimal lifestyle. And as I've said before, it's a journey, one that I'm on and hope will help you in living a slow, minimal life. And until next time, be kind to yourself.